What's up, YouTube? Today, I want to talk about Glock backstraps and fitting the gun to your hand. I received a care package from Kiral, maybe? I don't know how you pronounce their name. Make some different backstraps for Glocks. So I've got a couple different ones of those to talk through, and I've also got just a modified Glock backstrap that comes with the gun that I've cut. And I just want to talk through the differences in those in testing them. So I've got three different ones with me. Let's see where to start. So the reason for my interest in changing the backstrap on a Glock is just because of the grip angle. I feel like getting your hands rotated a bit more forward, or my wrists a bit more forward, kind of like tendonitis issues for me, and it just makes the guns feel not as comfortable. So changing the way they point a bit or index by adding this backstrap in changes it and makes it feel a little bit more like fill in the blank, anything else. 1911, Walther, 2011, whatever. All it's doing is just adding some extra material to this backstrap and just making the gun present or point or index just a little bit differently. So, the one I've been using for a while, the advice of Professor Kim. This is a factory medium Glock backstrap. Normally it would come down to like right here. All I do is just chop it in half, just using a pair of scissors, and this fills in the top part of the grip, but then kind of balances out the angle. Even with this little ledge or ridge, no issues as far as discomfort. Shotguns like this a fair bit, and I like it. It's been good, but it's a little bit do it at home. So Locke was kind enough to send me these two. There's two different models. The first one, well, I'll talk about the more basic one that's similar to what I'm using now. This one is just called Improved Grip Angle. Again, Locke sells this, Locke Grips. This one is just a little bit shorter version of the one I cut up myself. As far as the way it fits on the gun and looks and all that stuff, very comparable, other than this one just looks more professional, if we're being real. The one thing I've noticed, I think the ledge along the top, or this kind of beaver tail area, this one is better at keeping your hands from getting bit by the slide. So if the Glock, like slide bite, is a thing that happens to you, I think this one gives you more like protection from that over the factory one, just because it's a little bit wider on the side, a little bit more pronounced in the back. It feels like it does better at keeping your hand away from getting bit over the factory one. But otherwise, that's just a shorter unit. So it just fills in this little top back part to change the way the gun presents a little bit and give you some protection there. I've used this one a fair bit yesterday. Taking it out again shortly, and no issues. It feels honestly somewhat comparable to this. It's different but the same. So I want to mess with this one a little bit more. As of this point, I don't really have a strong preference between those two. The one I cut up myself and the one they sent me. It's like either one of them I like. If you want something more professional, this one's probably the one to go with, because again, it's got just the way it's cut is nicer in appearance, and I think it has a better guard on the top for getting you cut up from the slide. Now, the other one is quite different. The other one, well, I'll show you before I put it on the frame, is this one. So, this is going to be wider, and this also has this little removable piece inside of it. I think it's called shock absorber. Yeah, this is a shock absorbing backstrap with the improved grip angle. So, again, the little panel that fits in. The other problem, or the other thing this does, is it increases the width across the back of the pistol. So, I'm just going to hold this in place with my finger. But if you look, what you're looking for is right here. If you look along the side of the pistol, you can see it's actually increasing the diameter around the gun. I could make the argument and say it makes it a little bit tougher to get to the trigger if you have smaller hands. But if you have bigger hands, I think, or I mean, we'll just call it goofy shaped hands, this one might be a big help to you. I've already talked to one person, a friend of mine, that said this is the one, because he described, it's like goofy shaped hands, and he really likes the way that kind of like fills in that gap part in the back, and kind of just the extra area there, the little bit of rubber cushion there, and you're in the beaver tail area. Anyway, some people really like that one. For me, I don't know. I need to train with it more. I'm going to leave it on the gun when I take it and shoot it today. I feel like it makes it just a tick tougher to reach the magazine release. So if you're kind of moving the gun just a little bit, I'm one of those people that moves the frame just a little bit to get to the mag release button. It makes that little move I have to do just a little bit more drastic. And in drawing the gun, it felt more foreign, but I think that's just because I'm not used to having it there. So my friend Kenny's on the way. I'll be heading to the range within the next hour or so, and I plan on taking all 3 of them with me anyway, just to compare again with just a fresh look. He's owned Glocks for a long time. Have him shoot them all also, and just see kind of preference. So overall, that's kind of first impressions. I don't have necessarily one to like tell you this is the one you should buy. If you use the Glock factory backstrap and you cut it and it kind of takes care of whatever needs you have or you like it, it's a little bit tough to get you to buy one of these or to recommend one. I think, like I said, this one I would describe as just a cleaned up version of cutting the factory backstrap. So if you don't want to cut it yourself or whatever, or if you're getting bit, this is the one. Otherwise, I don't feel like this is as earth-shattering, but for just the right people, or the people that have big hands, or I don't know, like I said, get bit. This one I think is the more interesting one, just because it's way different, but I don't think it's for everyone. I think it'll depend on your hand size and kind of how the gun feels or hand shape, that kind of stuff. So for reference, I normally wear medium-sized gloves. I don't even know if that's helpful or not, because like the length of your fingers is different from the area of your palm or webbing of your hand, or it's just so tough to tell. So I guess the good part is they're not super expensive, but if you talk one of your friends into buying one, and then you just try it and see if it's made for you or not. Because like I said, I'll test them more. I'll have them when I go to the range. I plan on just switching back and forth between them. But at this point, I don't really have a clear winner that's like, hey, this is the one you should get. It kind of just depends on how the gun fits your hand and if you notice an issue or some problem you're trying to solve. Otherwise, I know lots of people that just use the factory Gen 5 gun. No backstrap. Well, like our friend Mr. Steger, he doesn't use any backstraps at all. If anything, just add some grip tape. That's it. And no issues. Also, well, dang it, I left up my reloading bench. But Locke was also nice enough to send me some grip tape also that works in conjunction with these. So I'm going to wait until I figure out which backstrap I want, and then I'm going to put grip tape on the gun also. It looks very similar to the Talon grip tape option, but we'll find out if it's better or worse or the same once I apply it. Just trying to decide on a backstrap first. So I'll keep you posted, but this was another one of those things in the comments where I asked what trigger I should put in my Glock. These got a bunch of comments. People wanting me to try it or just to ask if it's worth it before they spend the money. At this point, I just don't have a way to tell you, like, yes, you should buy it. No, you shouldn't. I will say if you're happy and you know it, if you're happy with the factory backstrap that you have cut, there's probably not a reason to venture out and get anything else. But if you're still having issues getting bit by the slide, or like it's just you want to increase the diameter of the grip, especially around the top beaver tail area, this probably is the one you want. But I'll post more videos in the future after I have more thoughts or train with them a bit. If there's anything I did not answer about them that you want to know, concerns, questions, comments, all that kind of junk, put it down below. I do my best to read through the comments, and I'll make another video or just reply to you in the comments if there's any questions I can answer about them. So appreciate you watching. Have a good day.